Hi, this is Gloria Norwood from Sophisticated Spa Shop on Etsy.com, owner of Gloria's Astrology Tarot, owner of Gloria's Solid Mysteries Oracles deck, volumes 1 through 40 on MakePlayingCards.com. I'm back at you with another one. I think I'm going to use the astrology deck and do the Gay Tarot. But like I said, I want to share a little bit of my story before I get started, so people won't think, and I really ain't a story time person, so this will probably be the only time you see the story time on here. Like I said, I was born at KU Medical Center, the first miracle baby in the world, from what I know. All on the news, a lot of newspaper clippings. Very special child. So, like I said, the doctor saved my life at KU. I would grab my birth certificate, but I think it's Dr. Granada Ramajo, I believe so, which I really appreciate, because if it wasn't for him saving my life, I wouldn't be here today. They sewed me back together because I don't know, whatever my mother, the drugs or whatever relationship she was going through, I came out with my insides outside of my body, and they call that gastroschisis. So they put my body back together, where basically my intestines and my liver, all that, were out of my body as a child. I was in the hospital for about 2 years. I died in the hospital several times, and they brought me back, and I've been alive ever since. I was known to, not be able to reproduce children. That was my mother's favorite line. Oh, she can't have kids, she can't have kids. So she was thankful that I couldn't have kids. But when she realized that I was the only one that had kids in the bloodline between her and her children, I don't know, I think she kind of harbors bad feelings, because I guess she just, didn't want me to have any children in my life, which I don't understand. So I left it at that. I have 7 beautiful children and 3 grandchildren, thanks to the Lord up above. Like I said, I was said to not be able to reproduce after that huge surgery of over 9 surgeries, and being in the hospital for 2 years. When I got out the hospital, I moved with my aunt, who later on I found out was a part of the Illuminati, and did not want to do anything but pretend like she cared and was cool, and then took my income, the $500 that I did get when I lived with her, and plus the $500 in EBT assistance to bring food into the home and buy materials for my son Jeremiah at the time. So I really went through a struggle with my family, because in the beginning, like I said, she took care of me, but later on in life, she wanted me to take care of her, which didn't make any sense, because I was just a child. So I felt like, I really didn't have much of a job. We lived in Moreno Valley on Wisteria Lane. Still remember the address, 24623 Wisteria Lane. Shout out to Wisteria Lane, because everybody thought that was a fake street, but it was a real street. We lived on that street. I went through a lot of molestation with a few family members. And a lot of people, that was that Me Too movement way before it was even going on. My aunt, she worked at the post office, so she was gone most of the day. My uncle ran the restaurant most of the day, so it was basically like her nieces and nephews at the house all day, and I was mainly the one being sexually abused, physically abused, verbally abused by my cousin Cassandra, with my cousins, my Bamiel cousins, and so I felt like, I really didn't have anybody, so I used to, I realized I had, been raped and molested early, and it had been going on all my life. So then I moved, thinking that if I moved with my mother, that I wouldn't have to go through it. But then when I moved with my mother, the same cousins that was raping me moved right out to here to Kansas. So it was just like, Lord Jesus, can I even get away from these people? Even though they're my own family, they're sick. They have something wrong in their mind. They don't want to get any help. They think there's nothing wrong with what they're doing, as long as nobody don't find out, which is definitely illegal. And at that time, I thought that maybe I was tripping. But when I found out that a couple of my female cousins moved out of my auntie's house for the same exact reason, I knew I was absolutely correct, even though she was a foster parent to my daughter. So then she, decided to say she hates me the other day because I guess everything's coming out about the past, and she feels like, she'd rather say she hates me and she doesn't want to deal with me than tell the truth about her kids being sick and needing, medicine and help, straight jacket or something, because it doesn't make no sense for you to rape all your female cousins and you act like it didn't happen. So, he finally did admit to his mother that he did do it, and I guess he cried on her shoulder, but she didn't turn him in. She didn't make him be prosecuted. She basically tried to cover it up even more. I told my mother, then my mother told me that, we're family, just let it go. I'm like, no, that's things you don't let go. This is why kids are traumatized to this day. You can't let things like that go. I believe, he violated my sisters, because I would run away when I felt like, ain't nobody listening. I would run away. And yeah, I would have to go stay with guys because my mother wouldn't let me in. She would consider me a runaway because I wouldn't let people rape me. It was just weird. I already had went to Northwest High School being bullied. So, like I said, I used to sing to escape my reality. So, yes, I can shout out to Leighton Green because I understand. I would sing to escape my reality. That's the truth. So, I became a very good singer. Like I said, I'm Gloria Norwood, kin to Brandy and Ray J. So, I went through a lot as a child. Before my grandmother and grandfather passed, they told us we're related to them. And I was like, oh, okay, that's good. So I used to sit in front of the house thinking that they were going to pull up in a limo and stuff. Like, oh, okay, my cousin's doing good. They never pulled up. So I'm like, damn, they don't like us or what? What's going on? But not realizing that was you know, that maybe, we didn't know that we were related to them until I knew when we were younger, but they didn't ever show their face. We didn't have no family gatherings. And then we did have family gatherings. Like I said, the Norwood family reunion. I never would go. I was never invited. You know what I'm saying? They would never hit me up on Facebook or nothing. So I was like, oh, they being real shady. You know what I mean? Because I'm the one that's the singer, songwriter, creator. I used to try to rap when I was little, dance. I was in drill team. Like, I was like really one of them multi-talented people. And I felt like most of my family was locking me out. Like, I was the bad sheep. Girl, I was the bad sheep. I was the go-getter. And y'all was just trying to live off of my shine. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I went through having my daughter, which is Jamaica. When I had Jamaica, I was immediately targeted by the Illuminati. I was 15, 16 years old. I did not understand what was going on. All I knew was I was being taken away from my mother and my daughter, but my mother wanted me taken away so she could still get the government assistance from the government for my daughter. But I would be locked up, so she would be getting money for me and my daughter, but I would be in jail. You get what I'm saying? So she didn't have to deal with me and my attitude of wanting to be independent and emancipated, because I wanted to be emancipated because I was working at McDonald's, which was my first job. When I asked her for daycare, she called the police on me and told them I was a runaway. So I went through a lot with my parents, and the people didn't understand what I was going through. They locked me up, put me in JDC every weekend for being a runaway. So basically, they literally kept locking me up. This little organization, Illuminati, they kept locking me up over and over again, so it'll make it look like I really had some type of mental issue. You understand what I'm saying? So she could keep the money in her pocket, but I'm still running through the government system, in group homes and in pregnant group homes, because I went from Cobb Valley Community Center, Cobb Valley Center. That's when they first took me. I knew something wasn't right. I'm 15 years old. You're asking me for a drug test. You're taking me away from my job to provide for myself. So now you want just a drug test? Are you really tripping over me smoking a blunt? Like, it really went so far with SRS, with Social Rehabilitation Services in Kansas City, Kansas, over smoking a blunt. That's when it was supposed to be illegal, but they were trying to legalize it in Colorado, but they figured, I guess I was too young enough to smoke, but I wasn't too young enough for you to, you understand what I'm saying, try to take me from my mom. You didn't even ask me what was going on in my life. You understand what I'm saying? You just took me and threw me in a jail cell, which wasn't even cool. So, I'm sitting in JDC every weekend because I'm like, forget it. If I ain't got to be raped, then it's cool. I sit in a jail cell. So they knew me by name in Juvenile Detention Center in Kansas City, Kansas. because I was there every weekend because my mother would lock me up because I didn't want to fucking babysit my two sisters, which were little kids, or because I didn't want to be raped because she would try to take me straight over to my auntie house where I would get raped at, so I didn't want to go over there. Give me a moment because it's very emotional. And then I would leave, I would run into guys and date guys just, to have somewhere to go because, my home life wasn't cool. So then I ran into LaWanda Yates, she was my best friend. So I thought she was another, op that pretended to be cool, play cool, and then get around other people and switch up with the attitude and showing out. And I was like, okay, she's a fake, she an op. So, I stayed away from her. Then we became cool again. So it's like, okay, well, we're going to try this again and see if it works out. It worked out for a long time. We were cool. So when she really realized I was cool, after she tried to have me jump with like Evelyn and a whole bunch of different females in Northwest Middle School, which is cool because you know how it went down. I had to go get them girls back. You know how I do. But I got them back one by one because I felt like jumping somebody ain't cool. Y'all jumping me just because I'm cool as fuck. Like, how we kicking it at a fucking Halloween party and the next minute you bitches just trying to jump me. Oh, okay, y'all super fake. Next, you know what I'm saying? Move around from the fake bitches. So I left, you know what I'm saying? I was like, all right, cool. That's when I started learning about ops and just fake motherfuckers just sitting in your face acting like they cool. I left it alone because really what happened is my sister Juicy got into it with Evelyn's sister at the middle school, which was Chelsea Elementary. I think they got into it at Chelsea. They got into a fight, and I tried to neutralize it. And me and Evelyn died. And then, me and Evelyn ended up having a fight over that. Because I was trying to, stop the fight, but she was trying to show out in front of Kendra Richardson and Aisha King and all of them. So I was like, okay, she's trying to show out, whatever. So we ended up having a fight in front of my house with all the girls in front of my school. So I went through a lot of stuff in high school over either me protecting my kids or protecting my sisters or protecting myself. Like I said, my mother was on drugs, so people would come up to me and talk about how she owed them money for crack. And I was like, oh, wow. Please don't kill my mom. That was the response that I would give people, because I know that she's on drugs and I don't know much that I can do for her. Just don't kill her. So a lot of people kind of like showed me that type of respect because I knew that people had their drug of choice, but I was just hoping that, it didn't take my mother out. So as I went on with my life, I got away from all the molestation, and then I was kicking it with my homegirls, meeting a couple of guys, how it goes, kicking in summertime, and then I ran into another one of my well, like I said, I had kids with my first two kids' fathers, and he ran back to another woman. It didn't matter the race, it was just the way you did it. You didn't have to be rude. I mean, if you got somebody, it's not cool to try to date somebody else. So that's one thing I don't like about guys. They try to twist the story. He was technically about to be engaged to another woman and try to get me pregnant again. So yeah, I had to get out of that karmic cycle because I went through karmic cycles myself. And it was just best for me to step away because he was too highly sexually active and didn't wear a lot of protection. My second child's father, we were cool at first, so I thought, but the problem was that the person that I wanted didn't want me, and I was dating two guys with the same name, and this is how I found out about psychics because I called the psychic hotline. Me and my friend were playing on the psychic hotline one night, and we called just to play because we were joking around, which is my friend Jennifer, which is quote unquote crazy Karen's cousin, which that's her. She went crazy, so I didn't even go to that story. We almost there, but yeah, me and Jennifer caught the hotline. She said, you dating two guys with the same name. And I was like, damn, I am dating two Wilbur. It was really funny because two guys that I was dating had the same name. But I thought the other guy's name was different. And so I was just like, because I was just kicking. I was wilding. So I wasn't like checking for IDs or nothing. But shit, I just like wearing condoms. I was cool wearing a condom. No kissing, I'm cool. But, like I said, I met two guys with the same name. That's how I got into psychic terrorism. You know, that's when Cleo came out with the "Call Me Now." I was like, oh man, this lady wrong. She playing the game. I thought she was joking. So me and Jennifer get the call and playing on that line one day. And I ran into a psychic, and the psychic was like, he had everything accurate. He was like, you're dating two people with the same name. One is gonna hurt you. One is gonna be there for you. You need to make the right choice. He was moderately cool, and I was like, oh, okay, why? Because I was trying to trick him. I really was. I was trying to trick him. I really was. And I was trying to give him different names and different addresses to see if he could still pick up on who I was. He didn't even pick up on, me being a chosen one, which is really funny because I expected that, but I guess he probably picked up on it now. um, but yeah, he said I'm gonna be special. He was moderately, he was Asian. I remember that. And then I hung up. I didn't think nothing of it. And I ended up running into another guy, with the same name, and I was like, okay, oh Lord, you know what I mean? So I knew for sure psychic readings were accurate. So I ended up dating the other brother, and he was right. He hurt me. He abused me. And with the black eyes, busted lips, all because of his infidelity. Because everybody knows I got a big mouth, so I'm gonna ask you what you doing, what's really going on. So he was trying to play me like I was stupid. And when he wouldn't get, when he couldn't get his way, he would just literally just hit a woman. Because he been in the pen for a long time. But that don't mean hit a woman. If you're guilty, you just guilty. All you gotta do is say, yeah, I'm wrong, I did it, I'm wrong. And he wouldn't say he wrong. I mean, literally, he just hit a woman. Straight up, like, knocked my lights out. Okay. I was like, oh no. I gotta get away from him, far away from him. But by that time I had a daughter, and I was going through another karmic cycle. You understand what I'm saying? With him and his new baby mama that he was trying to secretly have kids with and be behind my back. So boom, that's karmic cycle number 2. I'm like, oh, let me get over this. I went through that for about 9 years. Well, no, not really, because me and I went with him about 3 or 4 years. With his sisters and him, I knew his sisters and him longer, but than me and his relationship. So I knew his family longer than I knew him. But like I said, when it came to his relationship, I knew his family about like since we were kids. Probably about 15, 16 years old. That's when I met his sister, Fats and Shannon. So the other sisters, I met them later when we got together. And his brothers, I would see them in traffic. So I knew, like I said, I knew mostly his family before I knew him. Like I said, that's Tiana and Jeremiah's dad. Nothing, like I said, he apologized because, that's what real men's supposed to do. But, the damage is done, so it's kind of hard to trust people at this point. I did not rekindle the relationship with him. I let him move on, and hopefully he learns his karmic lessons. My third child's father, let's see, we were dating. I met him at Club Candy. Okay, me and my cousin, we went out, she decided, hey, let's go out, let's just have a good time. That's when me and my sister was cool. She was like, cool, put on this outfit, come on, we all about to go out. That's when I was cool with Karen and Maisha and Charmaine, so we all went out to Club Candy, was kicking it that night, like, literally it was lit, me and Looney Corleone, everything was cool. He performed, so we was all just having a good time. I met my child's father after I got out the club. So I'm like, damn, he fun. Excuse me about that. But I was just like, damn, he hot. So he had a little T.I. thing going on. I'm like, oh, he's sexy. And then he had his little Mustang with the little rims and shit. I'm like, oh, okay, he doing his thing. So he gets out, we meet each other. You know what I'm saying? Nice little situation. He was talking to the girl next to him. But of course, me, I'm like, I ain't no hater, but that could have been his sister, cousin, anything. So I just left it alone. And I was like, damn, what's up with you, cutie? Me, I'm running my little game as I usually do. And he get out, give me his number, you know what I'm saying? Look at how I'm looking. I call a cousin for a cousin, you know how it go. And so my cousin, freaking Clarell, you know what I'm saying? My cousin Relly, she fucking hollered at his peoples, and I'm hollering at him. We supposed to go on a double date, but it never went down because she started talking to my sister's boyfriend's brother, which is, we don't want to name names to certain people. It's, private, So yeah, she started dating my sister's boyfriend's brother. So we left it alone, but me and him still linked up. I was calling him. He was talking to me every night, conversations about, how things was going and, getting to know each other because he worked the night shift. So I guess he didn't have nobody he could trust to talk, what I'm saying, to, be loyal, keep the coochie tight, whatever, how y'all men are. So we were cool at first. He took me out to eat and he was taking me out, doing nice stuff. And, we was going to the room, what I'm saying, and the first time, we wore protection until it was all the way gone, and then we didn't wear protection anymore. And then I got pregnant with BJ. So literally, we had sex all the way till all the condoms were gone, because everybody knows me. Everybody knows me. I get down when I get down. But especially if especially if you're on point, you take care of yourself. You're a good dude. Then yeah, I got you. But other than that, okay, so we meet each other. It was cool. It was nice. And I thought everything was going to be straight. I get pregnant. I didn't know I was pregnant. So we still were continuing to date each other. Not knowing that I was pregnant the whole 3 months. So he steady coming to get me. We going out to eat, doing nice stuff or whatever. And he's like, well, the last time we had a conversation, the last time we went out to eat was at Dave & Buster's. So, I'm sitting there. I'm pregnant. Didn't even know I'm pregnant. So he taking me out to eat. Me on a little 2 for $20 because they had just opened up there at the Legends. So we there eating, everything's cool. But it's like he get a phone call from his other baby mama. You know what I'm saying? And so his whole attitude just changed. Like his whole demeanor was just like, I'm like, oh, okay, this must be that I want you back. Let's get back together phone call. So I was like, okay, I didn't know, that he had a woman. So I left it alone. I knew he had told me he used to be married. This is his excuse. I used to be married. I said, okay, used to be married means you got a divorce. You're not with that person no more. So I let it go because everybody moves on. Some people don't want to let go. You got psychos. So I was like, okay, cool. Come to find out, he was a little bit psycho. Okay, trying to steal his children from the mother of his kids because he had moved on with other women. Instead of just saying, hey, I moved on, I want to see my child, but I don't have much money. Can we make this type of arrangement? No, he didn't go that way. He went to trying to steal his children. Confirmation from me and the wife. So she calls me so I can go to court for her about her child. Madamaya, I haven't seen him since he left me pregnant because Madamaya called him, told him I was pregnant. Then he told me, oh, I got a girlfriend. I'm like, oh, you got a girlfriend? Really? Like, he literally trying to change his number, relocate, tell people he didn't know me. I'm like, oh, this dude is really delusional. Really. So, I still try to hold it down for my son because it's not his fault, I seen him. I try to flag him down so he can meet his child. He put a gun on me because I guess he felt like he didn't want to be responsible for a child, so he'd rather kill the mother than take care of the child. I sat there with my child in my hands, he had on this little yellow onesie. I didn't want to cry and be sad, but I'm like, damn, you would do this to me? I thought you were good people. So he put the gun down, held his son for about a few minutes. Then he was holding him, playing with his hair. Then he gave him back like, man, here you go. I got somewhere to go. Never seen him again. So I let it go. I'm like, okay. So I literally got to chase you through the town. Okay, fuck it. You know what I mean? I'm on it. I see him at his brother's house. His homeboy house, his best friend house. Sorry about that. I see him at his best friend house. Shout out to Courtney, nigga. You already know what's up. I see him at Courtney's house. And his sister's in the house, which is cool. Me and Courtney and Tashir, we cool as hell. So Courtney's like, he didn't know I was cool with them. See, that's the fucked up part about it. His best friend, he didn't know I was cool with them and went to school with them. So that's where he fucked up at. He didn't know that some of the people that I knew, I already had went to middle school at Northwest with. So, Courtney, I'm like, nigga, you just gonna leave me with a baby? You know what I'm saying? I'm mad. I'm heated, bro. By that time, my son is like One, nigga, his hair was way down to the middle of his back with beads. My son was draped. He was looking real good. You know what I'm saying? Trying to meet his dad. This nigga stole on me, bro. Stole on me with his child in his hand because I was trying to show him his child. What type of man does that? They think that shit is cute to go back to another bitch and try to live a life like you about to have good karma? No, you're not. So I left that alone. Fuck it. I'm about to put you on child support now. Because I try to code, I try to do it the legit way. Now I have to put you on child support. And everybody knew that I tried to do it the cordial way in front of his best friend without any drama. And he wanted to kick up drama with my child in my hands. He fought with me with my child in my hands. Me and my child hit the ground if it wasn't for Tashir and them out there helping with my baby. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Tashir and Courtney. Because I was gonna fuck that nigga up. And I usually don't cuss. I'm trying not to cuss online, but I was gonna fuck him up. Real shit. I was swinging on that nigga. I was gonna beat that nigga in the head with a straight up pole because you got me fucked up. You do not leave nobody pregnant and just run off like we some stupid ass bitches and we don't know what's up. So, like you too good or you too bourgeois or too goody two shoes to take care of your kids. So, but you over there at your wife's house picking up your kids on a regular basis. See what I'm saying? So I was pissed. You know, you don't leave people pregnant and then just act like they don't exist. So I said, okay, I'm going to hold it down for BJ. After that, I was too through. Put him on child support, left it alone. Then, boom. Later on down the line, you know, I get on the party line some years later. And because my son, shit, he was about 7 or 8, this about years later, I met Kingston's dad, you know what I'm saying, on a little chat line. He was cool, no problem. Only thing about him is, you know, because of the situation he was living in, he was living with somebody who was also a Illuminati member. She was an elderly lady who was basically, she was in the organization, but she was basically gambling away his Social Security and he wasn't getting his income. So Anthony was struggling. So I helped him when I went down to the Social Security office, helped him get control of his own disability because she was taking his money because he didn't have anything. And she would give him like $50 a month. And she was getting like $3,000 for all them kids, like $3,000 or $4,000. So she would basically be gambling it away. Excuse me. She would be gambling it away. Buying cabs, buying a whole bunch of out-to-eat food with the money that he could be using to live on his own. So since we had a baby on the way after we met, he was cool. You know, I got pregnant. He was okay until he started cheating. He was very attentive. Everything was cool. But he was just a cheater. He tried to, you know, sneak and cheat. And that shit wasn't cool. He just tried to go back to his mom and them house and go cheat over there. So that wasn't working for me either. I cut him off because my other ex caught him cheating. So he wanted to bring it to my attention because he acted like he wanted a chance to be with me. So I broke up with my child's father because I had caught him cheating. He had took pictures with this girl, was still texting the girl. And at first I didn't, you know, I was like, okay, I'm not going to believe my ex-boyfriend. He could just be saying that just to have sex with me. So I let it go on for a minute. And then, you know, I was like, I'm going to just see if he's still talking to this girl. So I would get up in the middle of the night when I'm pregnant, about 4 or 5 months, and I would hear him talking at the top of the steps on his phone to the other girl. Might have mind you, I'm pregnant. So you should be over here rubbing my belly, rubbing my feet, consoling me, bringing me something to eat. I'm pregnant with your first child. Not you downstairs telling another female you got to get her pregnant too. And I ain't even had your first child yet. And at first I'm sitting here thinking like, I know he ain't. You know what I'm saying? I know he ain't doing no stupid shit like that. If it wasn't for her forwarding the text messages and him accidentally leaving the phone, but when he went to his mama's house one day, I let it slide. I let it try. I kind of like, he left his phone there. So it was like, I wasn't trying to hide it. But I was like, ooh, I hope he leaves this motherfucker here on accident because he know I didn't have my phone at the time. So I let him leave that phone there. He left the phone there. He forgot about it. I guess he was, you know what I'm saying, in his zone because it was that time of the month. He was trying to go get his money from his mama. So that's it. After I was like, that's after I had took him down there to go get his disability. So he was just playing it off just long enough to still go get his portion. So then they had gave him a payee, and then they let him be in control of his own stuff because they seen that he really had a baby on the way. So you know that I helped him out in that manner. You know, he was always supportive and took care of the finances, but he was trying to sneak and cheat. Um, so yeah, I was of course aggressive and angry throughout my pregnancy because I ain't even had your baby yet. You know what I'm saying? You out here telling people you about to get them pregnant. And at first he was, oh, that's a lie, da 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 da. Not true. She forwarded all the text messages back to me from what they were texting to each other. I said, oh, thank you very much. I'm about to put this nigga out. I hope you got somewhere for him to go. Period. So that's how that went. I put him out, and you know he begged to stay, and I told him I will let you stay, cause long enough for you to see your child born. Cause I ain't no ornery person. Cause it was like by that time it was like the last few weeks. So I was like, I'll let you stay just to let you see your child be born. But I'm not messing with you. I didn't have sex with him anymore. I cut him off. Nothing was interesting anymore. Cause that's the type of person I am when it comes to loyalty. So I cut him off, but I was still, you know, I started texting my ex, which is dun 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 karmic cycle number 5. Okay, okay, that's what I'm saying. I can't do any more karmic cycles, and that would be the final, the cult leader, which I didn't know until after I got pregnant, which we finna get into that. Um, when it came to him, like I said, I broke up with him. I let him go on about his business. Because that's just how I am. I'm not gonna fight with you. I'm not gonna argue. I'm gonna let you move around. Well, he wanted to fight. He wanted to swing, and he wanted to fight because I was leaving him for my ex. He threw my phone in the middle of the street. He cracked it. He broke it. Um, he tried to bust my window. I had to call the police on him because he was trying to tear my shit. Because I left him to be with my 5th baby daddy. I hadn't had sex with him. That's why he came over there busting stuff out because he was mad because I wasn't there. I wouldn't sleep with him anymore. And the day that it happened, my new boyfriend, which you know what I'm saying was my ex-boyfriend at the time. You know how you link back up with your, you know, your old dude that you wanted or whatever. Which he was. He was the first person I ever wanted to marry. This is the third. So I was like, okay, I'm about to link back up with you because I miss your ass a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But you was a little shady and shysty last time. Hopefully you cut through. You know what I'm saying? Not being fake as fuck. So. Because you know everybody knows I ain't trying to cuss, you know, because I'm getting out of that old life, but I do have to explain my story. Um, like I said, I was, me and Anthony were cool. It wasn't no in love. Once he did what he did, it wasn't no in love anymore. It's just, all right, you got to go. I had to start falling in love with my ex again. Because we started texting. We were texting every day, you know, meeting each other. At first it started with just, you know, texting through the little website, through Facebook. Then we went to Boko. Then, you know, we was just hitting each other up on a regular basis. And I thought that it was going to work out. Well, then he started using the social media against me and start, you know, pestering and torturing me with all the females that he had slept with. During the time where he thought that I was cheating on him or when he proclaimed to have went to work or whatever. So I'm like, another karmic cycle. So that'd be karmic cycle number 5. Okay. Then I felt like, okay, well, I thought that it was gonna work. You know, we had a beautiful child. I'm thinking we're gonna be together. Well, he's secretly sneaking off with the ex too, but steady telling me what the other man is doing. But he doing the same thing on the right hand side with several different women. So, you know, my ex called me one day and was like, oh, you know, your new man running down the street with a new woman. I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm in the bed asleep. So he knows how I am about loyalty. So I let it be. You know, I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to wait till you get here and see what's really good. Because, you know, this was them two back and forth battling for the number 1 spot. I'm telling on you, and you gonna tell on him, and he gonna tell on him. Like, so they was going through that little quarrel, the baby daddy number 4 and baby daddy number 5, trying to tell on each other so they can both still have sex with him, right? So I'm like, no, I can only sleep with one person, so I cut off Kingston's dad. He ended up going to go have a baby with another woman. Congratulations. That has nothing to do with me. Just don't put your hands on my son and don't come for me, bitch. And then it came for baby daddy number 5. So he decides to slide back over to baby mama number 3, baby mama number 2, baby mama number 1, baby mama number 7. So he didn't obviously went out and start creating other families throughout this 15 years of me and him being together, because I had cut him off. So yeah, we had been together for 15 years. My son Kingston was about 15, about to be 14, 15 years old. So when I started messing with him, my son Kingston was like 8 or 9 months. Like I said, he was still trying to be the head of everybody's household. You know, baby mom number 1, baby mom number 2. He thought he could play the role in everybody's household, being the head leader in everybody's household, and that doesn't work. You can only have one household. So his thing is he wants to fight and cuss and fuss and swing because he can't cheat also, just like the other baby daddy I had. I'm like, damn, you two with the same damn 2 names in the psychic show, what's the fuck right? I'm like, I'm getting into this because I've been missing a lot of clues in my life. You know what I'm saying? That I should have been looking out for or looking out on, and I was just, missing all the red flags. So like I said, when it came to my case and my situation that I'm going through right now, I lived on 12th Street with baby daddy number 5. Here comes my sister in the door. Now, I don't know if they had a previous relationship. They obviously had something going on, met through Facebook, had linked up already. So she came over there to antagonize and jump in his face to try to see why she should be the main woman and not me. So at the time I didn't think about it, but then the things she was saying, I literally had to put her out my house because she was getting mad disrespectful. And I'm like, why is she coming over here acting like she has to prove to my man that I'm a bad mother and I smoke weed, so I shouldn't have kids? It was like she was trying to justify why she should have a child and I shouldn't. At the time, I wasn't pregnant, so I didn't think of anything of it. But I got to thinking, like, if this bitch don't get the fuck out of my house starting bullshit, it's going to be a problem. So, obviously, they had sex. And she was trying to run back to him and be with him. But he had already picked me because he had moved into my home. I was brushing his hair that day. We was chilling. So basically what she was doing is she was coming over there because her little sneaky link or affair that she was having with him was backfiring. So she thought she was going to come over there and those subliminals of, oh well, I should have kids. Oh, she smoke weed. Oh, she don't have a job, but she's a good woman. Like she was trying to gaslight and play little games with me and him when she came over there. And I said, what the fuck? If you don't get the fuck out my house, because it sound like y'all fucking, you need to get the fuck out and you need to get the fuck out. Both of you bitches. Get the fuck out my house. So I put them out. So it was just like, oh, like now our secret's exposed because she came over there with her bullshit. So basically it's like he had her trained, but when she didn't want to do exactly what he said or whatever the fuck they was texting about on the sly, she had to come and get his face to let him know why she needs to be the wife or the wife basically. So I was like, the fuck? I'm talking about my blood sister, my little sister. You feel me? That you look up to me. So how the fuck you gonna sit here and tell me that that's your boo or that's your man? Because she had told me that that she had sent a nigga some naked photos and she don't know what he gonna do with them. I'm like, why would you do that, sis? Like, you know me, I've always been about being with somebody for love, so why would you do that to yourself? You over there degrading yourself or whatever. That's on you. You want to sell, hey, you want to do what you do, whatever. But I didn't know she was linking up with my man. So I'm very upset at this time because I didn't have a child. But at that time, it seemed like he was trying to get me pregnant, or we was in the mode because I had an abortion from him. So yeah, that was the first time. So that was right around the time I could have been pregnant, or and my hormones was raging. So I'm like, what the fuck? So of course You know, if anybody comes into your home with a lot of chaos and you're not used to that, and then they're talking to your man as if they're their motherfucking woman and saying shit that they ain't got no business saying, you like, bitch, you jealous, you envious, you want my life, what the fuck you doing in my house, what the fuck y'all got going on, get out my shit. So that's how that went. Then it was, oh, you're crazy, you're full of drama, oh, we're gonna lock you up, oh, you're psycho. I'm like, how the fuck I'm psycho when y'all been sleeping together? And I had to go to the motherfucking feds to see what the fuck y'all text messages say. Since y'all in a sneaky link. Sis. You sus, sis. Straight up. So, I'm sitting here like, alright, I don't want to, I'm mad, I'm pissed. Had to put both of them out. They both leave. Boom. Both go this way, one go that way. So I'm thinking they probably been got together to plan some shit against me. So I left it alone. Years go on by. Boom. I have an abortion because this nigga, he must have been messing with Sharita at the time. The bitch that came over to my house with the great Grand Dam, the great Pontiac. I didn't know the two-door. I didn't even know he was messing with her. So he didn't have this girl like rush to pick him up real quick to make it seem like I'm some cousin or something. No, baby girl. He was living with me. That was my man. You see what I'm saying? So I guess he was sneaking off with her. So I was just having a lot of problems with his infidelity. Basically, in so many words, he was telling his family something different, but it was mainly his infidelity, him running back to exes, running back to other baby mamas, disrespecting me, calling me a hoe because I'm calling him out on his shit. I'm sitting at home, I'm on the porch smoking a blunt like I usually do, So the neighbor, what I'm saying, that lived next door, he cool as a motherfucker. He was messing with the chick a couple of doors down, what I'm saying? So I know, he ain't no scandalous motherfucker. Sorry, me, I gotta smoke on this one. This is long. So I'm pissing people off. I don't give a fuck. So I'm sitting on the porch, what I'm saying, and the neighbor like, hey, what's up? I'm like, shit, chilling. He got this little code. I ain't know nothing about the code. So he like, yeah. I'm like, huh? He like, oh boy. I'm like, huh? He like, in blue shirt. I'm like, oh yeah, oh dude. He like, yeah, he like, that's your dude? I'm like, yeah, he's supposed to be something like that, whatever. He like, yeah, he at the car wash, cleaning the bitch car out, kissing all on the bitch. I said, oh, really? Wow. But you come to my house calling me a whore. I ain't did shit. I'm at home with my kids. So I'm like, man, alright, fam. That night, we in that motherfucker rocking, fighting like a motherfucker. Cause I ain't mentioned dude's name, but I knew for sure he was telling the truth. I'm like, this nigga, cause he always wanted to drive my shit, I would tell him no. You know what I'm saying, nigga, you already know, you be drinking and driving, I be trying to look out for him, you know what I'm saying, cause I've always been like that. I feel like the law says you can drink and smoke at home. You can't drink and smoke out in public in your vehicle. So let's sit at home, drink and smoke, and stay in for the night. That's the type of person I am. He went around, drink, smoke, be flamboyant, be seen. I'm like, alright, whatever. So that ain't me. I'm more like chill mode. So, I guess, he got, one too many incidents. And, looking for somebody to blame. I keep telling you, don't drink and drive. Let's just go to the house and chill. You know what I'm saying? So he calls me about an incident. And I'm like, okay, I got your back. I'm going to come and get you. And I got your back. He spent the whole week at my house. But he seemed nervous. So I'm like, okay, so he must have got himself into some trouble. And it's like when he would get into trouble, he would take his anger out on me. And wouldn't say anything, but he would take it out on me. And I'm just like, but then he'll run over to the ex-baby mama, talking about they all in love and they in a relationship. The fuck? You bringing me your problems, but y'all over there all in love. Get that shit together. Which one is it? Is she your woman or am I your woman? Because it seems like you coming to me with all your problems. But you want to sit here and kick your feet up with this bitch. And that got STDs and shit. Shout out to Bed Bugs, the fuck she is. But anywho, like I said, I don't have anything to do with that, and I'm going to just state the facts. When I slept with him, I wore condoms at when we first got together. Later on down the line, we stopped wearing condoms since he wanted to feel like he didn't feel like I was his woman. So boom, I'm gonna take the condom out. Boom, I get pregnant twice. Had an abortion with the first one. Shout out to Mama T who came through, very supportive woman. God bless her, she is such a sweetie. Came through and supported me, which is Jay and Clay Mama, one of my good friends. They twins. They mama came and supported me when I had to go to the doctor because this man was, being ratchet as fuck out here, trying to date several people, and I was trying to settle down, and he wasn't. So boom, I went to the clinic. She was, held my hand all the way. Very great woman. She's very appreciated. She's so cool. And all her kids is cool as shit. And I can see why they turned out as great as they did because their mom is amazing. So shout out to Miss T, Mama T. But yeah. And so yeah, later on down the line, like I said, Mama T and my mama became friends or somewhat friends, and she realized why I became so messed up because she seen that my mama was like karmic to me. You know what I'm saying? Starting a lot of drama, ghetto, trying to hang with. How are you my mother and you're hanging with my ex's new wife and shit? Like you on some fake shit. You my mother. You supposed to be asking your son-in-law why the fuck you doing your daughter like that. But that's neither here nor there. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, when it came to my sister, him and her had snuck off and they had sex. I'm not stupid. I done caught your ass. Y'all on the ring camera. It is what it is. FBI done caught your ass. You on the hotel cameras, going out to eat cameras. Sorry D, I gotta tell you like this because you a cool ass dude. But yeah, Latoya slept with Will. She's a fake ass bitch. And on top of that, this is why I'm going through court because she's trying to steal my kids because she feels like Sebastian should have been her child because him and her slept together and she didn't get pregnant. She was trying to get pregnant when we was in California with her nasty ass and was talking to you and him at the same time because I caught her ass. And then that's when she blurted out in front of the whole family that she was going to try to steal my kids. She was taking me to court and taking my kids. I said, taking my kids? What the fuck are you talking about, bitch? Like, she just said some off-the-wall ass shit in front of the whole family in California. So I'm like, what the fuck, bitch? You done lost your motherfucking mind. Bitch, my son has a behavior problem. He has ADHD. Nigga, he manipulates. He done turned into a narcissist. He steals everything. The police that came to my house about them stealing and breaking in shit. Like, what are you talking about, Latoya? Like, she was getting so digmatized and sprung on my baby daddy. She thought she was really finna run away with this man, have a family with him, and get pregnant behind her man back and try to have her man raise they baby secretly. She's a sneaky bitch. I peeped all her game. So that's why she wanted me gone. Because I was peeping the fact that him and her had sex. More than once. Let's keep it real, more than once. And he admitted it at first. But then he tried to backpedal and act like he didn't do it. Try to save face, thinking that that'll save this relationship. No. Facts are facts. You scandalous as shit. Everybody knows it. You hit the whole block. No condom. And you want to tell me I'm crazy and I'm delusional because you got caught? Oh, then you try to break my window. Then you try to break into my car with your other girlfriends. Got caught on the camera across the street. How many facts do I need, bro? Then y'all shooting in my backyard because you jealous. Because you've been trying to kill me since this case started. Because you motherfuckers be hiding the fact that y'all fuck with kids. And I exposed y'all asses. Period. So, like I said, I deserve my kids because I was protecting my kids. I would never put them in harm's way. He was trying to bring them around bitches that let that shit happen to their kids and don't give a fuck. And when somebody do give a fuck, he want to try to tell everybody to gang up on that person and shoot them to let them know to find out that you low-key like little boys, motherfucker. Let's keep it 1,000. You got caught. You tried to have the police attack me. You try to have the police shoot me. You had to try to have the police demonize me, literally try to attack me in the hospital, not once, but twice. Shout out to Truman and Research. Y'all need to be sued. Y'all some raggedy ass people doing people like that, claim to be upstanding citizens and nurses and doctors, and y'all in there traumatizing people and torturing people and injecting people with substances they did not ask for and did not approve of, trying to sedate people because y'all asses is pedophiles. Y'all are wrong. Then y'all try to say they need medicine Because you want them to have strong medicine while y'all fucking the kids. So they can be knocked out. Now, let's put this shit out here on the map, Casey. Where you at, though?